Oh, hello.
Hello.
Who is that girl here?
It's me.
Tuk
Can you
tuk.
see me okay? Can you hear me okay?
I can feel you okay. I'll tell you more than that. I can
Oh,
even feel you
non-stop.
okay.
Only
Nice
when we're
shirt, by the
offline.
way. What, Mayan?
What?
What's happening?
What?
How could it happen that we are so
What?
aligned on our outfits?
Because we're connected. EXP.
Too much. It's too
EXP, baby.
much. Okay, I'm
No,
finishing the stream. Let's
it's
kiss.
just right.
Thank you very much for finding time, for being with us today, and for teaching us something. That's one. And
Thank
two,
you.
it's not the first time you are here. It's not the first time you're
Yes.
here. But
Yes.
the previous times, you didn't have your website and you didn't have your YouTube channel. So congratulations on both. And let's help Mayan
Thank
grow
you.
her audience and
Engagement.
spread this talent worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, it's been very, very scary to be out there so much. I hope I don't get, burned alive, but we'll see. That's the way to do in the internet. There's no other way.
You'll be praised. So what does it take to make a story great?
Okay, all right. So what we're going to do today, basically, it's called story development. It means that you start with an idea, and you can have any idea about like a situation or a fantasy kind of feature, or like a cool technology for a sci-fi novel. But it's just an idea. You have to start developing it into a story. Now, what do I mean when I say story? I mean, it's basically a narrative that has some different events, but they're all connected by the same meaning, by something that kind of ties everything together. It's not just random things that happen. Okay? So a story basically has a hero, and that hero has a goal. He wants to achieve something. But there is a conflict, meaning there's something standing in his way to achieve that goal. And in order to reach that goal, he needs to kind of learn something new, and so transform and change, and so he'll be able to get it. Sometimes he won't reach that goal, and sometimes he will. But this is the basic formula that every book and every movie have. Okay, so this method, it's good for writing a screenplay. It's good for writing a novel. It's also good for writing a series. But series is a bit different because it doesn't really have beginning, a middle, and an end, because it's like different episodes or chapters. So it's a bit difficult because it's not as definite ending. But it is, the basis is the same base. Okay? So if you have an idea for a story, you probably have kind of like a situation in mind. For example, like what happens if kids would go into an arena and fight each other to the death as a part of a tradition in a dystopian world, which is the premise of the Hunger Games, right? So it's probably an idea like that, something that's cool and interesting, which is great. But starting there is not enough. I mean, that idea is not enough to make the Hunger Games such a successful book and movie. So what you basically want to start with is the formula I said. Your hero wants something. It needs to be one thing that they want. It needs to be something actionable, meaning not to be happy, not to be fulfilled. It needs to be getting something, finding someone, escaping somewhere, something that is very, very like action, something that we can see you get, and then fighting something that stands in your way. So if we took as an example the Hunger Games, Katniss going into the arena wants to survive, right? She wants to win the games. That's her goal. But to survive, she has to face a lot of conflict, a lot of opponents. There are other kids in the ring that also want to survive that she's going to have to kill. Some of them are stronger, they have better weapons. And in addition to all of that, she has the boy from her district, Peta, that get into the ring as well, and she needs to kill him if she wants to survive. But she actually likes him and she owes her life to him. So it's a lot of problems that she has to face if she wants to win the games. Okay? Now, conflict is the most important thing about story. If you don't have conflict, you don't have drama. Without it, there is no story. Okay? So I know this was a lot. I'll give you another example, Asya. I know you're with me, but just to make sure, I'm going to give you another example. So
I'm just enjoying. Your voice is so smoothing. I can listen to you forever. So please.
I should sing this instead of talking.
Exactly.
So in Titanic, so Jack and Rose, they want to be together. That's their goal. They want to be together. They want to get married. They want to whatever. But they're from different worlds, right? He's proletarian. She's like higher class. Also, she's engaged to someone else. Also, they're on the ship of the Titanic and they're about to sink in 2 hours. So there's a lot of things in their way to be together. In Batman, The Dark Knight, he wants to save Gotham, right? His goal is to save Gotham, but in his way is the Joker, and he's out to destroy Gotham. So that's the conflict. Okay? Do you think it's clear up until now? I know it was a lot, but is it clear up until now? Because if it is, we're moving to the exercise. If it's not, we can clarify.
It's clear for me. Is it clear for everyone?
Okay, so I'm going to share just my idea that I just had for this workshop so we can talk about it together as an example, okay? So my idea, I was thinking about TikTok, right? And you know how I'm struggling with TikTok. And I was thinking, what if an old lady, like a grandma, which would want to be, her goal would be to be a TikTok star. She wants to be a star with like 1 million followers, but she's old, she's a grandma, right? She doesn't really understand technology. Maybe she doesn't even have like a smartphone. Maybe she has like the Nokia phones, you know, with the buttons, because she's very technophobic.
I know.
Yeah, so it's all of this in her way. Maybe like she needs like her grandsons to like explain to her how it's done, and her friends who are 80 years old like her, they don't understand why she wants to be on TikTok. Or maybe she goes on TikTok and there are no comments or no followers. Or maybe worse, there are followers, but they're all laughing at her. So everything would stand in her way to be a TikTok star, which is her goal. That's my my example. But maybe we could take like I don't know, 5 minutes or 3 minutes and just try to write everything that would be a conflict that would relate to the initial idea that everyone has.
So not your idea, like not developing your idea right now together, but
no,
bringing...
that's
okay.
gonna be a Netflix series. Please don't steal my idea. Please get your own Netflix show.
Netflix team that is watching me right now, please. It's copyright protected.
Jesus. Okay.
If you pause.
Well, we're supposed to be writing. Guys, the first rule of writing is you don't talk about writing. No, just kidding. That's Fight Club. The first rule is you're not supposed to be online. You're supposed to focus on writing. So, Asya, how long do we have left?
2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So, we have our conflict. It needs to be very difficult for the hero to get what they want once they have this conflict, right? So now let's talk about your character. So think about, why are you talking about this specific character? So Asya, for example, your story is about you, okay? But why is it you? Could it have been anyone else that wants to live abroad or to study abroad or to go to Austria? Why not anyone else?
Anyone else?
If you think about that, anyone else. So if you think about it, Katniss in the Hunger Games, she couldn't be anyone else. She just had to be Katniss. Why? Because she's the only one that volunteered as a tribute to save her sister. And she gives her life basically to save her sister's life. What else? She's not super friendly, right? She's not outspoken, and you have to be to win the Hunger Games, right? Because it's like a reality show. You have to be super nice. Everyone has to like you. It's like Big Brother, right? They have to vote you in. They have to give you stuff, and she's not that person. She doesn't have any chances to win the Hunger Games because she's not that person. She's not that doesn't have that personality to win a reality show, right? So you have to design the hero to fit perfectly into the story, because otherwise it can be just anyone, right? So I'll give you an example for what I wrote. Okay, so for my grandma that wants to be a TikTok star, right? So she has to fit into this goal and conflict of wanting to be a TikTok star and yet doesn't have the right qualifications because she's a bit older. Okay, so she has to be very determined, right? I was thinking maybe she really likes her grandkids and she wants to connect with her grandkids, and that's why she wants to be on TikTok. She wants to be modern, she wants to be hip, she wants to be cool. She doesn't want to keep doing the same thing. She wants to keep doing new things all the time, because even though she's 80 years old, she still wants to learn and evolve and maybe to feel younger. Okay, so you kind of have to like think about this character and why they want what they want, and who is this character? I mean, can it be just anyone? No, it has to be one specific for this specific story that you want to tell. So it's just about thinking a little bit more about who's your hero.
How and at what point a person decides what genre is it?
Oh, that's a really good question. So you should probably start you should probably know the genre from the beginning, right? Probably, because it's going to be a very different story if you're writing a romantic comedy, or if you're writing drama, or if you're writing a tragedy, or if you're writing horror. And there are different rules to every genre. So you can't just, for example, you can't write a romantic comedy if everyone dies in the end. That's not going to work. No one's going to publish it. It breaks the rules of the genre. It's true. There are rules that you can't break in terms of genre. Also, once you know the genre, it's going to be easy for you to write a better story, because for every genre, there are certain, like I said, rules and beats that you have to follow. And that actually is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You can still innovate. You can still make twists, but it's within the genre. So you would want to know first. You want to know just when you're starting. Yeah, probably. For my story, I'm guessing it will be comedy, because it's going to be funny to see an old lady who really wants to do something really, really well that young people usually do. And it's going to talk about the gap between the generations, but do it in a funny way, not like in a bad way. So
I have actually seen it more like Requiem for a Dream.
Oh no! Why?
Because she's trying to fit into something that is not made for her. You know what I mean?
Requiem for a Dream is considered a really, really bad story, by the way. Because it's like this, yes, because it starts good and then everyone starts doing drugs and they just ruin their whole lives. There are no good moments. It's just watching a car wreck. That's it, in slow-mo and on acid, on drugs. That's it. There is no story. There is no someone trying to get somewhere. There is no someone learning something. There is no point in the end.
That's interesting. I never thought about it. But what else do we need? So we have the genre, we have the story, we have the story where someone wants something and it's really difficult for him to get it. There is this conflict.
Yeah.
And
so now there's the last thing. Okay. So the last thing so we talked about the character and about the conflict, and these are the two crucial pillars of a story. So now we're going to talk about theme, okay? And theme is actually the message that you have in the story. It's why you're writing this story. Why does it matter to you? What's the message? So like I said, Hunger Games, yeah, it does speak about a dystopian society and kids fighting each other to death, but it basically means one for all and all for one. And if we're divided, we can never win, we can never grow, we have to be united. And that's our way to survive, okay? So that's the heart of the story. So, and your hero needs to learn this lesson during the story. So like Katniss, she just wanted to survive, that's it. But in the game, she realized that she needs to be united with other people, like Rue, like Peeta. It's not just her. She can't win this alone. She has to have other people. She has to have accountability for other people. And that's actually the way not to just win the Hunger Games, but to actually take down the entire government, which is what happens in book 3. Spoilers, sorry if you haven't seen it, but whatever. So you have to think about what your character needs to learn, what they really need to know deep down. And that's the theme of the story. And that's what makes your story meaningful. And it's what makes your story personal to you. Like, why are you writing the story? So I'll give an example for my story. So this grandmother, right? Maybe she's doing this TikTok so she can be, because she wants to be famous, but what she really wants is attention. She really wants to be connected to other people. Maybe she's lonely and she wants to be with other people. But then maybe she learns in the end that she doesn't need TikTok. She doesn't need social media, right? She can be connected to her kids and to her friends and to her family in different ways. She doesn't have to have 1 million followers on TikTok to feel connection and not to be lonely, for example. Okay. Yes, it's cheesy. It's very cliche, but that's the theme. Like, connection is not about how many people love you. It's about the quality of the connections you have with other people. How to avoid your hero to be Mary Sue. I think Asya's beautiful hero is Mary Sue. That's a really good question. Oh my God, who is this person who asked this question? It's the most. So, Asya, let me explain what a Mary Sue is, because it's something that not everyone can know. So a Mary Sue is like a character. Sometimes they're called a Gary Sue if it's a guy that is just really sweet and really cute, and there is no flaws. He's super perfect, right? And everyone loves him, and he's like, oh, so sweet and so nice, and he never hurts a fly. And we hate these characters. We don't want our characters to be perfect. We actually want them to be bad. We want them to have flaws. We want them to be envious and selfish, and not everything together, but they have to have flaws. They have to be real people like us. What about Sherlock Holmes from BBC? Is that like a general question, or about the episode that we talked about Sherlock?
Well, can I answer?
Sure.
Kung-Fuist, your question is good, and Mayan has a full answer on it on her podcast. It was really interesting. For me, it was eye-opening. It's about 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, and it's worth it. Just go and listen to it.
Also on YouTube.
It's also on YouTube. Yeah, she launched her YouTube a few days ago, so please, there will be more things there, or on the website as a podcast.
Yeah, in two words, it's just about thinking about House, the show House, because House was based on Sherlock Holmes, if you don't know that. So it's the detective. So we're just comparing characters. Sherlock, and the new Sherlock from 2010 with Benedict Cumberbatch, and House with Hugh Laurie. So we're just comparing these characters. They're both detectives. They both are self-destructive. They both are addicts. So we're just comparing which character is written better. So that's basically the episode. Okay, do you want me to give some tips for the rest of your writing?
I really want you to give me tips for the rest of my days. And I have to say... For life. And I have to say that I'm receiving private messages from people who are not participating in the chat, that they really enjoy it. I have to say.
I'm so glad, because I feel like we're just talking about how beautiful you are, and I'm not giving any added value.
I hate it. It started as a joke, and now everyone is... Oh, no, that's it. Can I switch my camera off? Wait.
First of all, I have in my website, I have free writing resources, right? It's like writing guides, and they kind of talk about what you need in terms of writing. It talks a lot about what we just talked about, but more in depth and with more examples. So it's really good for beginner writers. So it's on my website, mayanwrites.com. So you can download it. It's free. I think it's really helpful. And then I would suggest that you watch movies that you like and see if you can really spot these elements that we talked about, like see what the goal is and how the conflict is really custom made for that specific character, or if you can understand from the movies and series that you like why they choose that specific character for that situation. And I hope that you can watch movies now or read books and maybe try to see better how exactly they design the story, like the character and the conflict and the theme. And that's it, basically, I think. Wow, I talked so much. I'm tired of listening to my own voice. Music to our ears, Mayan. I have to say, exactly. Thank you. It was fun. Thanks, everyone. So, Asya, thank you so much for having me again. Here and marry me. Okay. Well, you mean come over there and marry you? Because I'm here and you're there. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you, Mayan. Go and write. Go and write, Mayan. Thank you, Awashigi, for 100 beats. Thanks, everyone. Inner Glow. Write great stories. Stories can change the world. Don't forget. Wait. You can keep pausing for, or if you could, please.